Producers, listen up. Are you looking to polish the top end of your drums, vocals, or instruments in general? Well, I have just a plugin for you. It's called Falcon Air by Safari Pedals. But is it really worth the hype? Well, this is not a sponsored video, so I'm gonna give you the real deal. You ready? Let's get into it. So my first impression of this plugin is that it has a very nice and easy to use GUI, which is what I come to expect from plugins by Safari Pedals. So let's go ahead and go over each feature of this plugin. Now, starting here from the top, we have our, of course, input and our output knobs, and right between that we have one of my favorite features of a plugin. I wish more plugin companies would add this into their tools that they have, which is auto gain. And the reason for that is because as we apply these plugins, it's really easy for our ears to get tricked, perceiving that things have actually improved when they've actually only gotten louder. And auto gain level sets everything, so the gain isn't actually increased. Everything stays at the same level, so we're able to assess real improvements, not just changes. Did it change to change, or did it change to improve? And this is a great feature to have in a plugin. Right below that, we have air gain. As we change the gain, you could see there on the screen right there in that little window that the slope is actually changing. So we can see how much gain we're adding to the top end by doing that. And right below the air gain, we have our frequency knob. The frequency knob helps to dictate where the shelving starts. So we can go ahead and move things over a little bit. We can also see it right there in the little window. See that? We're going to go ahead and move that around, and we can see those changes right there in the window. And now, speaking of this frequency knob here, we can see that it's also connected to air drive. Now, air drive is actually saturation, so you can either turn that off or turn that back on. So let's say you want to use something like the De-Esser, let's say, which is going to do gain reduction. You can also use the air drive to add some saturation back, so you can get that pretty shimmery top end back to your actual audio. And speaking of that, let's go ahead and move over to the De-Esser. And with the De-Esser, as you actually apply it to your audio, you're going to start to see the gain reduction right here in this little window. You're going to see a little white light pop up, so you can see how much de-essing is actually going on in your audio. Now, we're going to go ahead and move up top here. We can see we have oversampling, so you can go ahead and turn oversampling on or off for anti-aliasing. You can just listen and see, does things actually improve when you turn on the oversampling? Does it not improve? Just kind of listen and listen for the texture and the taste and the feel of things as you use oversampling. Then also here we have another one of my favorite features in a plugin, which is blend, aka a mix knob. So you don't have to totally commit all the changes of the plugin onto your audio. You can kind of kiss it and just kind of put it on a little bit, so it's not a total change to your audio. So you could just add on to what's already there. And I always enjoy having a good mix knob. And that's essentially it for this plugin. As far as the different features, you know, very easy to use, very easy on the eye. So let's go ahead and take a listen to what it actually sounds like. I'm going to actually do something a little unorthodox this time. Instead of using it on something like vocals, I'm going to actually use it on a beat. So we're going to listen to a beat. I'm going to apply Falcon Air EQ and see what it sounds like on it. And this beat doesn't have any other plugins on it. This is just a raw beat. So we're going to take a listen and listen to what the Falcon Air EQ actually adds to it. So let's go ahead and take a listen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Falcon Air EQ. Now, My overall impressions with that, I would say that was a major difference. That was a raw beat. I don't have all types of compressions and EQs on this particular beat. And I was able to add the Falcon Air EQ and really tighten things up, really make them sound polished. It's almost as if I went in and really did some real work to the drums and the music, but all I did was add in this plugin and it made that improvement with just a couple of different moves there. And speaking of that, also what I mentioned earlier is having that auto gain on there, so I'm not tricking myself. Things aren't getting louder and louder and louder. They're actually improving, getting more polished, getting more top end saturation, just giving me a nice smooth top end, a nice feel, a nice polish. What I'm thinking with this plugin, especially for any engineers who do any type of mixing who are watching this video, I would say try this on the drum bus. You never know what kind of results that you can get with this on the drum bus. I don't have too many sounds in this beat, but try this on the drum bus and see what you could do. See what kind of sound you can get. And this is not adding more and more to the headroom. It's just getting tighter. It's getting nicer, smoother, nice and silky. So this plugin is definitely living up to what it says on the website. So I recommend that you guys try it out. Of course, Safari Pedals allows you to use their plugins for free for a couple of days. It's either 7 or 14 days. So go ahead and give it a try. And if you like it, of course, just go ahead and make the purchase. I think this is a really nice plugin personally. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit like and subscribe. My name is Desmond A, and I'll be back with more great videos. Peace.
Desmond